This video will cover Lydende and Bedrywende Vorm, which is active and passive voice in English. So there's three sort of general rules when working with Lydende Vorm. So this is changing active sentences into passive voice sentences. So when you're given an active voice sentence that's in the present tense, so the teenwoordige tyd, the word order that you can learn is obviously you're going to start the sentence for your passive voice with the object, and then you obviously have your object, then the word word. Then just note that time and manner, so following stompie, time and manner falls in between your word and your deer. Then straight after your deer you have your subject, then your verb at the end of the sentence, and the verb obviously gets a ge, and then your infinitive, your omte, falls right at the end of the sentence. Then your second option is if you're given a verlede tyd active voice sentence, so bedrywende vorm sentence in the verlede tyd. How you'll recognize this is you'll obviously see that verb already with a ge, so you'll know, okay, now I obviously start with the object for passive voice or lydende vorm. And then instead of saying word, you say is, time, manner, deer, subject, then your verb at the end of the sentence. And because it'll already have a ge, because the active voice sentence is in the past tense, you don't have to add another ge. You don't say ge. And then obviously your infinitive falls at the end of the sentence, your omte. Then if we look at toekomende tyd, obviously here's a slightly different. You start the sentence with your object as usual, but instead of saying word deer or is deer, you say sal deer, and then obviously your time and manner can fall in between your sal and your deer. And then what's important to note is just coming down here, if the sentence already has a helping verb such as moet, kan, wil, we use that as our equivalent sal, and the rest of the sentence stays the same. So then if our original future tense sentence has kan or wil or moet or whatever in it, then we don't replace that with a sal, we simply keep that word there. So you could keep kan deer or wil deer or moet deer, and then you have your subject after deer, and then your verb at the end of the sentence, obviously with a ge. And then very important to note, for your toekomende tyd lydende vorm, you have to add the word word at the end of the sentence. However, this word still comes in front of your infinitive, which is represented by that I. Then another general rule, not commonly asked, but they can ask this to trick you, is if there is no object present in the sentence, we treat daar, we insert the word daar as our effective object. So just to go through an example, so if we're given our normal active voice sentence, die seun slaan die cricketbal oor die muur, then if we ask to change it into the lydende vorm or the passive voice, and it's a present tense sentence, we obviously say die cricketbal word deur die seun, so the subject, oor die muur geslaan, and your ge obviously on that verb. Then if we ask to do it in the verlede tyd, so let's say the original sentence was die seun het die cricketbal oor die muur geslaan, then we'd say die cricketbal is deur die seun oor die muur geslaan. So that het obviously falls away because it's replaced with the is. It is weird how the verlede tyd gets is, but that's just the general rule. Then if we're looking at the toekomende tyd, changing it from active to passive voice, obviously our normal sentence would be die seun sal die cricketbal oor die muur geslaan, and then you're changing it into your passive voice is die cricketbal sal deur die seun oor die muur geslaan word. And you see there, after your verb at the end of the sentence with a ge, you're adding in the word word. Then just another thing worth noting is they can ask you to do this backwards. So they give you a passive voice sentence and you have to go into an active voice sentence. Easiest way to do this is do all the rules backwards, and then when you eventually get your active voice sentence, change it, if you have extra time, change it back into a passive voice sentence and see if you get that sentence that they gave you. That concludes the video on Lydende and Bedrywende Vorm.